Hey guys, welcome back to Over the Wire with Bandit. In part 3 we finished levels 15 through 20 and today we're continuing with levels 21 through 26. By the way guys, I just set up a Discord server for the channel. You guys can join to discuss Bandit levels, Linux tips, programming or anything tech related. The link's in the description. Also, don't forget to smash the like and subscribe button. Let's dive right in. Alright, Bandit 21. A program is running automatically at regular intervals from cron, the time-based job scheduler. Look in /etc/cron.d for the configuration and see what command is being executed. And they also give us guys commands that we may need to solve the level. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to clear the screen guys. And I'm going to type ls/etc/cron.d. And we can see that there is a cron job running for Bandit 22. We can copy this file. And we can actually cat out the contents of that file. So we can say cat/etc/cron.d and we can just paste the name of the file in there. And when we look at this cron job file, we can see that it's executing a shell script. We can copy this path and then we can read out the contents of it. And we can see that this shell script is pretty simple guys. It's basically setting the permissions of a file in the temp folder or /tmp, and then it's reading the contents of Bandit 22's password from /etc/banditpass, and then it's redirecting or saving the output into the /tmp file. So in order to get the password for Bandit 22 guys, we can just copy this file in the /tmp and then we can simply do cat and we can paste in the path to that file, and now we can just copy this password that we retrieved right there. So now we can type exit and we can log into Bandit 22. So we can put Bandit 22 there. And we can paste the password in for Bandit 22. Now, let's navigate to the Bandit 22 page. And this is still a cron job type of challenge. So we can type ls/etc/cron.d. And we can see that there is a cron job running for Bandit 23, which is the next level we want to go to. They also give us note, looking at shell scripts written by other people is a very useful skill. The script for this level is intentionally made easy to read. If you are having problems understanding what it does, try executing it to see the debug information it prints. So what we can do guys, we could simply just do cat/etc/cron.d and then we can paste the cron job file for Bandit 23, and it's basically executing a shell script also. So we can copy this shell script path, we can clear the screen, we can cat out the contents of that shell script. And reading this shell script guys, we can see that it's creating a variable called myname. And then it's running the whoami command. Then it stores the output of that command into the myname variable. In this case, it will be running as the user Bandit 23. So myname would be equal to Bandit 23. Then it creates a variable called myTarget, and it prints out I am user $myname, which would be this the value of this myname variable, which would be Bandit 23 in this case. So it will say I am user Bandit 23, and then it pipes that output into MD5 sum command, which will give us a MD5 checksum, and then it cuts the checksum right there, which would give us a hash. And then after doing that, it reads the password of bandit23 from the /etc/banditpass, and then it redirects the output into /tmp/mytarget. So what we could actually do, guys, since it's storing it inside of the mytarget file in the /tmp directory, we could actually copy this command that it is being executed right here, and we could replace the $my_name with bandit23, since that is the user that this shell script would be running as in the cron job. So we can press enter now, and immediately we would get a MD5 hash. We can copy that, and then we can just type cat/tmp, and this $mytarget variable, we can just paste that hash in, because that would be the file name. And now we would get the password for bandit23. So we can copy that, and we can type exit. We can clear the screen, and let's log into bandit23 now. So simply we can paste the password in, and we can navigate to bandit23 page. And let's clear the screen and look in /etc/cron.d. Alright, and they give us notes about this level, guys. It says this level requires you to create your first shell script. This is a very big step, and you should be proud of yourself when you beat this level. Then it gives us another note. Keep in mind that your shell script is removed once executed, so you may want to keep a copy around. Alright, so let's copy this cron job file for bandit24, and we can cat the contents of it. So cat /etc/cron.d cronjob_bandit24, and it's executing a shell script. So we can copy the path to that shell script, and we can do cat, and then we can paste that file name in, and let's read this code. So we see that it's creating a myname variable and storing the output of the whoami command. In this case, the whoami command would give us bandit24 as the user, and then it's navigating into the /var/spool $myname, which would be the bandit24 folder /foo, and then it's executing and deleting all scripts in the /var/spool /foo, right? So after doing that, it iterates through each file within this directory, and then if the file name is not equal to a dot, which means the current directory, or it's not equal to a ... which means the previous directory, then it will execute the command. Then after doing that, it will simply remove that file or command. So what we can do, guys, we can actually just copy this path, since what we could actually do is, if we remember, every password for each bandit levels is stored in /etc/bandit_pass. If we type ls right here, we can see the passwords for each levels, right? So we could create a shell script that could cat the contents of the /etc bandit pass for bandit24, and then we could store that password in a file, probably in the /tmp directory, and then that would give us the password for the next level. And we would just copy our script into this directory. that the cron job is executing, right? So let's clear the screen, and what we can do, guys, let's create a directory in the /tmp folder. So we can say mkdir /tmp. Let's create a password folder, and then we can cd into /tmp /password_folder, and we can create a shell script. So let's do vim script.sh, and to set the line number in vim, guys, we can do colon set number, and then we can press I on our keyboard to go in insert mode, and then we can write shabang /bin/bash to indicate that this is a bash shell script or bash script. And then we could simply do something like this. We could say cat /etc/bandit_pass/bandit24, and then we could redirect this output into /tmp /password_folder/password. So what this would do, guys, is it will read the password for bandit24 and save that output into our current folder. So we can do escape now, guys, in vim, and then we can do :wq to write and then quit. And then if we type ls, we can see that we have a script.sh right there, or a bash script. We can copy this. Before copying this script, guys, we need to set the permissions of this folder so that our cron job will have write access to it. So we could do chmod 777. So we'll give it read, write, and execute permissions, and then we could say /tmp /password_folder, and then we could say $R to make it recursive, which would mean we're setting the permissions for each files in the folder as well. So then we could press enter now, and what we can do, guys, we can just do copy script.sh into the folder that we copied, so that's /var/spool, and then we could replace the $my name with bandit24, which would be the next level, then /foo, and then we could press enter on our keyboard. Now if we type ls, let's give it a few seconds. Let's try copying it a bunch of times until a password file gets created. So we could copy it again, type ls, and now we can see right here, guys, there's a password file in this directory. Let me just clear the screen and show you guys. There's the password file. No, so we can just do cat password, and that would give us the password for bandit24. So we can do exit now, and we can try to log into bandit24, and we can paste the password in, and now we are logged in. Let's go on the bandit24 page, and it says a daemon is listening on port 30,002 and will give you the password for bandit25 if given the password for bandit24 and a secret numeric 4-digit PIN code. There is no way to retrieve the PIN code except by going through all the 1000 combinations, called brute forcing. You do not need to create connections each time. Alright, so let's see how we can solve this level. So I'm just going to clear the screen. And guys, let's think about how we can create a PIN. To do this, we could actually use a for loop in a bash script, right? Or in the bash interpreter. So we could do for, and then we could create a variable. Let's call it I for now. You can call it anything, and then we can say in, and then inside of these curly brackets we can add a range. So we could add a starting number, let's say 0, and then we could say dot dot dot, and let's say we want to count from 0 up to 4. We can say add 2 dots right here, and then after that we could put a 4. And once we put a 4, guys, we can simply add a semicolon, and then we can put do, and then we could do something like echo $I in order to print out the I variable in our for loop, and then we could add a semicolon and then done. I got an error. It's because we need to have 2 dots instead of 3. And you can see it's printing out numbers from 0 all the way up to 4. Now, we can do something called padding inside of our for loops. Let me show you guys. So if we clear the screen, let's say I added 2 zeros right here. It would pad each number with an extra 0. Now, because we need a 4-digit pin, guys, if we made this the starting number 4 digits instead, let me show you. So if we did that, so we have 1 2 3 4, it would pad each number and make it a 4-digit number. Now we need to go through each ranges and make it go all the way to 10,000, guys. Now, since we're starting from 0, we could actually put 9,999 right here. And remember, guys, we need to submit the password of Bandit24 and also the 4-digit pin code. So we could create a for loop counting from 0 all the way to 9,999, and then after doing that, we could simply submit the pin code and the password together. So we can add a quotation mark right here, so around this variable, and then we could paste the password of the current level, and we could add a space in between it, and we could actually pipe this into Netcat, and then we connect to localhost on port 30,002, which is the port that they gave us to connect to. So this will basically try each password combination along with the pin until it gives it correct. So this is called a brute force, guys. So if we press enter now, it will try each combination until we get the correct password. So let's wait on this to complete. Let's give it a few seconds. And it found the correct password now, guys, and it gives us the password for Bandit25. So we can simply just copy this password now, and we can type exit, and we can try to SSH into Bandit25, and then we can paste the password in. Alright, and we're logged into Bandit25. Let's go on the Bandit25 page. And it says logging into Bandit26 from Bandit25 should be fairly easy. The shell for the user Bandit26 is not /bin/bash, but something else. Find out what it is, how it works, and how to break out of it. And they also give us a note if we're on Windows, but we're on Linux, so that doesn't really matter to us. So let me just clear the screen, guys. Now notice they said that the shell is not /bin/bash. Let's determine the shell of the user Bandit26. To do this, guys, we can do cat/etc/passwd, which is the password configuration file, and we can scroll all the way up until we see the Bandit 26 user. And right here where we see the path right here, /user bin /showtext, would be the shell that it is running. So we can actually copy that path, and we can actually cat the contents out. And once we do that, guys, we can determine what this shell really is. So if I just press enter, you will see that it's simply a bash script, and it's executing the more command, and then it's just exiting with a return code of 0. It's running the more command on this text. Okay, so let's see. If we type ls even in this home directory, guys, we can see that we even get a SSH key or a private key, so we can cat the contents of it. So we can do cat bandit26.ssh key, and we can copy the SSH key that we get. And there we got the SSH key. So I'm just going to copy everything right here. And let me just clear the screen. And we can do vim ssh.key. Let me just zoom in a bit. Now to insert in vim, guys, we can press the I key to get into insert mode. But before doing that, we'll press escape to go back, to exit out of the current mode in vim, and then we can press V, and then we can use our up arrow key and then our right arrow key, and then we can press D to delete the current input in vim, and then we can press I to get into insert mode, and then we can just paste our SSH key that we copied. So now we can press escape and then WQ exclamation mark to overwrite our old SSH key. And then after doing that, guys, we should be able to log into Bandit 26. So we can type exit now, and we can do SSH. We can put Bandit 26 right here, and then we can say dash p2220 and then dash I ssh.key. So if we press enter on our keyboard now, you'll see that it tries to log in us into Bandit 26, but it failed. And why is that, guys? That's because wait, let's actually go on the Bandit 26 page. That's because, guys, the show text shell is basically executing the more command. Now, a thing about the more command, guys, is that if we tried to resize the terminal to a very small size, like probably this, and then we press enter, the more command will actually give us an interactive shell depending on how many lines is present. Now, because this is a small terminal size, you can see that it gives us an interactive mode. Now, from here, guys, we can use the V key to get into Vim, and with Vim, guys, we can actually execute a shell or get a shell onto Bandit 26. So in Vim, we can do we can press colon, and then we can type set shell equals to /bin/bash, and then if we press enter, we will set the shell to that, and then we could just do :shell in order to get a shell on the system. We could clear the screen right there. And now, if we type ls, you can see that we get access to Bandit 26. And right here, guys, on Bandit 26, there is a SUID binary. So let's see if we can retrieve the password for Bandit 26. So we can do /bandit 27-do, and it says it runs a command as another user, which would be Bandit 27, right? So what we could do cat, and then we could say something like /etc/bandit_pass/bandit27, and if we press enter on our keyboard, you will see that we get our password for Bandit 27. Let's try to log in. So we can type exit right here. Now we're back into Vim. We can write :Q to quit. And we are in the more utility. We can press Q to quit. And then we could try to SSH into Bandit 27. Let's see if it works. And we can paste the password in. And boom, we are now in Bandit 27, guys. And we successfully completed Bandit levels from 21 to 26. So I hope you all learned something valuable. Don't forget to smash the like and subscribe button. Stay tuned, and I'll see you in another video. Peace.